said, we're out here on the high river today fishing for bluecats, and the high river itself is kind of high. It's dropping, there's a lot of current, and we're trying to find places with seams that these fish can kind of get out of the main current, you know, and not have that hard current in their face. And if you can see behind me, you'll see the line, and that's the main current seam out to the left and some slower water on the right. And that can either be, you know, a stack of barges or like a main wall or an industry, you know, like a power plant or something. You just want something that's going to break the current for them that they can kind of get out of. So we're going to try this out, try this seam out, and even if we don't catch nothing on this first spot, we might work our way back just a couple of times. But we're going to get some baits out there and see what happens. Hopefully we'll catch a fish. Stay tuned. Alright fellas, this thing hit like a ton of bricks. Up in this shallow water, you can see behind me the seam line we're fishing. And he's got me all tangled up back there. What a mess. What a mess. I believe we got a double one. There we go. Nice bass. A nice little double in bluecat and a bass. All right. All right, there you go, fellas. Nice high river bluecat. You can see right behind me where we're fishing this seam line. And there's a lot of bait coming down through here dead. And these fish are up in here feeding today. Water temperature's 45 degrees. Mid-February. Sun's out bright. It's going to be a beautiful day. It's supposed to get up to like 60 degrees today. So let's get him back and we'll catch another one. There he goes, fellas. Love watching them swim away. CPR. Catch, photo, release. Let them go and let them grow. Alright guys, hooked up again on this same line. Don't be afraid to fish close to the bank. These fish are coming up in here, getting out of the current, feeding on shad and other things that are up in here. And one thing is for sure, if they're in here, they're only in here when they're going to hit, and they're going to hit quick. Seems to be another decent solid fish. Love it. Just don't get much better than this right here. Winter time, cold water, bluecats. Go. Another solid fish. Man, these things are beautiful. There he goes. Love watching them swim away. Alright, we're just using, gizzard shad, you know. I like that right there, just cutting them up in chunks. They're wanting them kind of a little bit bigger today, so you know that size right there will only make two pieces of bait. I give you an idea how big the pieces need to be. But, you know, I want you to notice how close we are to the bank. These fish don't mind being right here on the bank, especially when their water's moving this fast. You know, they're getting out of the current, and this is where they're at. And if they're hungry, they're hungry. They're eating quick. So, let's get another piece of bait out there. This must be another bass. This thing is wild. tell you what, this ain't what we come after, but by George, that baby was fun to catch. Man. They say these things are good eating. I've never ate one before, but look at that mouth. Purdy, 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 purdy. There he goes. All right. Call them bonus fish. Man, it's been a pretty good day so far. Boy, when them things hit, they going plumb sideways. Boy, they're fun to catch. Well, we've been sitting here now for about 30 minutes or so. Ain't really, other than those two fish, we ain't had no more bites. So we're gonna pack, reel up and move on down just a little bit. Now, I've mentioned this before, but something I want you guys to keep in mind is if you're just going to move down a ledge or a bank or whatever you're going to do, if you're just going to move down a little bit, a couple casting lengths or whatever, if you're on the fish, don't throw your old bait overboard. Throw it into a bucket or something. We want those fish to eat what is on our line and not what we're throwing out to them. So keep that in mind. That's something that I do on a regular basis. I just throw it into a bucket, and then whenever I, get out to the middle of the river or something, or if I'm going to a completely different location, then I'll throw it, throw it out. But if I'm just moving back a little bit, I'm gonna throw it into this bucket. I don't want to give them nothing unless it's on a hook. So keep that in mind. All right, fellas, we fished that other bank, caught a few fish, and we beat that other bank up pretty good. So we come on down river looking for another spot to fish, and I want to take this opportunity to show you guys, what to look for on the banks. We're not as much looking or worried about the depth or the area or spot, more so than just the current break, where this water's moving so fast. We're just looking for those places for those fish to get out of, regardless of depth. So I'll spin the camera around and show you guys kind of what to look for, what we're fishing, give you an idea of what it looks like. All right, guys, here's what we're concentrating on today to catch these blue cats. Is seams, natural seams on the river. As you can kind of see, there's a point, and then you see that where the rough water meets the calmer water. That's what we want to fish. Now, we're not going to go up through there and look and see if there's any fish, because it's probably, it's pretty shallow and I don't want to spook nothing. I'm just going to go up ahead of it and fish it. So let's get anchored up and see what happens. All right, fellas, hooked up again. Found another, that same line that I showed you guys as we was coming up through here. Got anchored up on it. You can see where the seam line is. And he come right out of the seam line, so he was right where he was supposed to be. Well, that wind's starting to pick up on us. I apologize for that, but there you go. A nice little high river blue cat. Get him back in the water. There's a good reason you want to check your line all the time. Got that fish in and it's frayed up right there by the knot. So make sure you're constantly checking your line. A little place like that can cost you. Alright, this rig we're using, just a sinker slide. It's a little bead, barrel swivel, about 24 inches a leader, 50-pound leader, 40-pound main line, 8/0 Diachi, some pieces of gizzard shad. Seems to be doing the trick today. Get back out there so we can catch another one. Well, that's going to do it for us today. The wind's kicked up something horrible. I'd have loved to have been able to put some more fish in the boat for y'all, but that wind, it just doesn't make for good video, so we're going to call it a day. Hopefully we did get enough video to, show you guys something. Hopefully you understand that when a river's up high and moving hard, depth doesn't really play a key. It's more of current breaks. We want to look for them seams like we showed you. So keep that in mind the next time you're on the water. I want to thank everybody for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter now. Slunger Cat Outdoors. Look it up, give it a like, and we'll see you next time on the water.